Hey guys, today we're going to be doing all the switches in my house, and yes, I have done this before a couple months ago. The video link will be in the description. There's a bunch of new switches, and there's actually a bunch of switches that I didn't even know of. Yeah. Now, before you even enter the house, there will be a switch somewhere here. There it is. This switch right here controls that box, and that box is basically like the doorbell. So I'll do a little blip there. That's how it's terrible. It's been up there for about a couple years, not a couple, like 20 years. If we go here, there's this switch that controls this, and this plug that goes to this I don't know what it's called. There's this switch, which if I turn it on for a couple seconds, for a couple milliseconds, I mean, you will see the pipe move. Oh, it's not fast enough. The switch isn't fast enough. This switch is the main circuit breaker, so if I turn this off, the entire house will shut down. This controls this, and this controls the air conditioners and the washing machine. Now, coming over here, there's this switch, which is basically just the inverter. There's also this switch, which is the charging thing for the inverter. And there's also another switch up there that goes to the air conditioner. There's a switch over here, and if we turn it on, it doesn't do anything because it's one of these light thingies that goes from the inverter power, that runs off the inverter power. This switch controls a light out on the balcony right there. Turn it off. This switch, which isn't really good in good condition, is this outlet. This switch controls that light and a light down there underneath the stairwell. Let's close it. Nope, close. And yeah. If we turn this on, one of that light will turn on. Now this switch is the fan. If we go over here, there's three switches. This switch doesn't do anything to my belief. The switch controls that light, and this switch controls this outlet. This switch controls that light. This switch controls that light. This switch controls that little middle light. This outlet is by the inverter. It's run by, so this plug goes to these extra bulbs. That one, and there's another one over there. The switch controls this outlet, which goes to the fridge. If we go into the kitchen, oh wait, I forgot about two switches. There's the switch that controls an outlet over there. The switch controls this light. There's this switch, which is also the inverter switch. It controls this bulb instead of that bulb. If we go over here, there's this switch. This switch controls light in the toilet. This switch controls light in the bathroom, or whatever it's called, the shower room. The switch controls this outlet. It controls the fan. The switch controls this, and this controls that, and I don't dare to turn it on because I haven't used that, or my family hasn't used that in about 20 years. Now we go into my room. Now we are in my room, and there's this switch. This goes to the fan, which is also powered by the inverter. This switch is also powered by the inverter, and it turns out that light. There's a switch up here that controls the safeguard, but I don't have it plugged in. I almost just fell. This light controls that light, or that switch controls that light. This switch controls that light. This switch is vacant, doesn't do anything, and this switch is broken. The switch is the homemade camera filter. There's 2 switches back here. The switch controls that outlet, which is now taped up because it doesn't work anymore. This switch controls that light. And if we go over here, this switch controls that, and that controls this. And I think that's every switch for my room. Now in my grandma's room, we have this switch, which is the inverter, which turns on that bulb. This switch turns on this bulb. We go back here. There's my iPad, or tablet, I should say, because it's not from Apple. Power strip. 2 switches. This switch controls that. This back switch controls the outlet, which used to go to a ceiling fan right there. But the ceiling fan is broken now. And if we go back into the kitchen, because I forgot about 2 switches. I forgot about these 2 switches. This switch, both of these control the outlets, but this bottom one always has a different purpose. It either controls this, which is that for the washing machine, or it controls the fan. The top one is always for the pressure pump, which I will show you now. Here is the pressure pump. It's about 15 years old. So yeah, that's every switch in my entire house. Bye.